Regular watchers of the channels will know that I'm a sucker for these cheapo Chinese gyro controlled chappies, and this is kind of an interpretation, shall we say, of the J20 Strike Fighter or whatever it is. The main attraction being, of course, the twin EDFs, although they're only brushed and providing differential thrust. It seems to get it moving along reasonably well. I have reviewed the model before, and somewhere up there I'll leave a link to that video. One thing that really let it down though was the really cheap and nasty controller that came with it. That, in conjunction with the fact that the only instructions supplied were in Chinese, even with the aid of Google Translate, I think Confucius would have struggled to understand any of it. In the course of that video, I mentioned that you can bind a multi-protocol module to this craft, and that should give us a lot better control over the thing. I didn't have time in that video to try it myself, but now, having just acquired this Zoro and the 4-in-1 module for the back, it natively is running ELRS. We'll see if we can get the thing to bind to it. That's what we're going to do today. My first stop then was on the multimodule.org site, which is a little confusing. Under the FX8630 protocol, it only has the F816 for the P38 Lightning, nothing else. I guess this hasn't been updated. What I did then was to switch over to the GitHub repository. Under there's the good news. As well as the 816, we have 620 and the 9630, which is the one for us. Taking a closer look at that then, we have the AETR assignment. Channel 5, it says rates. Now I have actually tried this on my Tyrannus first. The rates channel made no difference whatsoever, so I probably won't configure that on the Zoro. Gyro, as it says here, -100 is 6G with small throws. Middle position on the switch, 0, would be 6G with a larger throw, and then +100 is 3D mode, which is just sort of gyro correction but without self-leveling. And in my experience with other models, going into that position, you've definitely lots of height, and I don't expect it to fly very well, or at least I won't be able to fly it very well. I also played with these trims, but they didn't appear to do very much, and I have rates set on rudder, aileron and elevator anyway, so that's not going to make any difference to me. The important things there are the first channels and the channel 6 for the gyro. With all that muttering out of the way, we flip over to the firmware downloads and select the multi-protocol module of choice, in my case here for the IrangeX for lite. The latest firmware version 3.3.33. Now I did check on my module and it was running 3.20, and that didn't have the FX9630 in it, so we need to upgrade. This is always going to be serial AETR as we mentioned, and what we have down here are the files that we need. So we download the bin file, multi.txt, which goes in the root of the SD card and tells the transmitter which protocols are available, and the Lewis script there, which we can unpack and put in our tools. Let me go and download that then, put it onto the card, and then we'll flash it and see where we go from there. Here then on the Zoro we can see the bin file. Click on that, select the external module, takes a few moments to install, and breathe a sigh of relief, the flash is successful. In our setup then, no surprise, we've gone for multi. We've selected the FX protocol, and we can see there the 9630, so all is good. The next thing then will be to bind it to the craft. Plugging in the plane then. We have our flashing blue light, so it's not bound. Click on bind, and almost immediately it's gone solid, and hooray, we have control. I haven't set up the switches yet on this particular model, so I'll go ahead and do that now, and then we'll see how the gyro functions. Now, this is one of those weird planes that you have to have the plane powered on before the transmitter, which is always a bit worrying, but there we go. So now we have our blue flashing light. We can power on our transmitter.
Welcome to HTX.
And there it's bound. You can see our aileron control and our elevator. Rudder is obviously differential thrust on the motors. And you'll notice that there's no gyro at the moment. This is another one of those peculiarities where you have to blip the throttle before they become active. So now we can see that they're active there. And if we throttle up a little bit, you can see the rudder function going on there. At the moment, it's in the low gyro mode. So clearly, if we tilt the nose down, the elevators go up, and vice versa. Angle to the right or to the left, we get the opposite motion there. The gyro switch is not going to make any difference to the actual deflection of the surfaces. It's just the correction that changes. And finally, in the 3D position, we'll see if we're going to be brave and try that out as well. And of course, our throttle. Everything looks good to go. Waiting now for a nice fine day. Right, here we are then with the FX9630 and our Zoro controller. Let's see how we get on. Well, she's away, kind of. That's full throttle. I've got the differential thrust there. Just like most of these things, it's happier with its nose down. See the gyro flitting away there. We're in the 100% gyro mode. Just about. So let's try a bit of height. We'll put the gyro onto the other position. So this is not the 3D mode, but Yeah, it's a bit strange. Let's go for broke and try get some height. And 3D mode. I was expecting it to drop out of the sky. That's probably not a good idea. Let me put this thing down. Oh, okay.
Right, ready? Full power.
Well, the battery's lasting longer than I thought it would. As predicted in the 3D mode, as soon as you try and do anything fancy, it wants to drop out the sky. Keep the nose down and the speed up. Here's the trick. She's down. Put that weed there. On the arrestor weed. So, a successful outing then for the little guy. There we have it then. I'm very happy with the little light module in the IrangeX. That works excellently with the Zoro. Thanks for watching.